Hey there, everybody, and welcome to our playoff edition of Friday Night Spotlight, brought to you by 911 Air Repair, your local air conditioning expert specializing in maintenance, repair, and new installations. For this episode, we are going to be talking about 4 teams, although we do have 5 teams in the playoffs. Lucky for us, Combs got a top 8 seed. They are number 5 in the 4A conference, so they get a bye. They don't have to worry about anything going on this week and just kind of rest, heal up a little bit, which is something they really need to do. And they will play the winner of number 21 Buckeye Yunker and number 12 ALA West Foothills next week. But going off of the teams that we do have playing this week, we got to start with our 2A team. They moved past the first round from last week. Santa Cruz Valley, the number 17 team, will be going up against number 1 Phoenix Veritas Prep, an undefeated Veritas Prep team here. David, you saw the Dust Devils last week. What do you think they have to do in order to make this a competitive game?
I said it last week when I previewed this game going up against Glendale Prep. I'm going to say it again this week. They have to run the ball and run the ball efficiently. That was the key to the game for them against Glendale Prep last week. It was really a contrast of styles between the two schools last week, with Santa Cruz kind of relying more on the run and Glendale Prep being the ones to kind of air it out in the passing game. And Richard Reyes Jr. has been in the quarterback position, but he maybe attempted 3 passes in that game last week. He was taking a lot of wildcat formations and just running with the ball, and it worked really well for them. He had 5 touchdowns in that game, and he was a real huge piece for them going forward. So this is going to be a game where they have to keep going with that momentum. But the big thing here is, can the defense stop somebody? They weren't able to stop the passing attack last week. They have to be able to stop all realms of possibilities against Veritas Prep in this game, because they are a huge threat. They're the number 1 seed for a reason. I want to see Santa Cruz get out of here and put up a good performance, but it just comes down to, this is the best team in 2A, and they're going to give a run for their money in this one. So Santa Cruz is just going to have to do what they can and continue to do what works for them, and that's running the ball and hope for the best here.
David mentioned Santa Cruz's defense struggling with the passing game. They're going to see another one this week. Veritas quarterback Rocco Guido has over 1,800 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. His go-to guy is Baylor Arnold, 35 receptions for nearly 600 receiving yards. He is the only guy who has a bunch of receptions. Everybody else on the team, they're not even at 15 receptions. Looking at the defense, Will Barrett, 13 sacks. The team as a total has 62 tackles for a loss. This is key here because Santa Cruz likes to run the ball, and Veritas Prep is capable of getting into that backfield and making opposing offenses struggle with running the ball, moving the ball, just in general. Moving on to our next team going up to the 3A conference, we are talking about number 13 Florence at number 4 Thatcher. This is a rematch. These 2 teams played early on in the regular season on September 12th. Thatcher won that one 21-18. David, what are you thinking about this game?
This could be an evenly matched game like we just saw in their game against each other in the regular season. They only lost by 3 points in this one against Thatcher, and I think they're taking a lot what they learned from that game and also for the rest of the season, and they're going to put it into good use here. I like Santa Cruz. This is a run-heavy team. They had 3 guys rush for over 300 yards in Zayden Cundiff, Victor Suarez, and Dayron Neal. So these guys are going to rely on a loaded running back room, I think, and kind of use that to their advantage, and also kind of dictate the pace of the game and kind of control the clock a little bit. I think again, it comes down to, can a defense stop anybody, and can Florence capitalize on some mistakes if they're able to create some mistakes from the Thatcher side. So I expect a solid run-heavy team here, and relying on those 3 guys to really kind of pound the ball on the ground and get into the end zone as much as possible. And who knows what could happen? It's a quick, swift change here from either of these teams winning. I think this could be an evenly matched one and a fun one to start the playoffs.
So I feel like this is going to be a different game from the first time these guys played each other. For Florence, they are more experienced, more relaxed on offense. Early on during the season, that was a struggle for them. They made a lot of mistakes in the red zone on offense that proved costly to them. They've cleaned that up quite a bit, but then for Thatcher, hey, there's a reason they're the number 4 team in the 3A conference, and a big reason for that is Chad Johnson, their quarterback, 970 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Another really big, heavy running team here with Thatcher. So it's really going to come down to who gets that stop with 2 really heavy running teams, because, hey, when you run the ball, you eat up a lot of clock. So it's all going to come down to who gets that stop will potentially win the game. Moving over to 4A, we have a team in every conference here right now. Moving up to 4A, we are talking about number 18, Desert Sunrise, at number 15, Mesa Eastmark. The winner of this game will go on to number 2, Snowflake. And this is Desert Sunrise's just their third year of existence, their first ever playoff appearance. So I got to give kudos to the Golden Hawks. David, what are you thinking about this game?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there. Kudos to Desert Sunrise for getting this chance and getting this opportunity. You know, it's always a difficult process of, rebuilding, or not even rebuilding, building up a team from scratch, and they've been able to do that so far. The interesting aspect for Desert Sunrise is that they have actually two pretty solid weapons at quarterback in Trey Walker and Kyle Sherwood here, who both of them almost passed for 1,000 yards in the season. And, they kind of use them, I feel like, kind of intermittently. They find ways that both of them work and find different sets for them to kind of be successful here. So I expect them to kind of try and use that to their advantage here a little bit. And a team like Eastmark is a little bit vulnerable. They lost their final game of the season against Combs, who will play next week in the playoffs. So this could be a team that Desert Sunrise can take advantage of and potentially kind of stake their claim as a team to stay in 4A. It just depends on which team shows up in this game. Are they a little bit nervous about the playoff potential? Are they a little bit worried about what the atmosphere is going to be? They have to kind of keep their wits about them and really focus on the task at hand and keep doing what they've been doing throughout the regular season if they want to win.
So I feel like Desert Sunrise's record is a little bit deceiving. Unfortunately, like the AIA likes to do, whatever their method of madness is, Desert Sunrise got put into a very weak region. But despite being in a weak region, they really dominated their opponents, which is how they ended up as the number 18 seed. And like David mentioned, Trey Walker, really got to give this guy kudos here. He sat out the first half of the season, second half of the season, just 5 games already, 1,076 passing yards. He has a 68% completion rate, 15 touchdowns and just 1 interception. And he's not just good at passing the ball, he's really good at running the ball too. He's already second on the team in rushing yards and leads the team in rushing touchdowns. So look for him to be the key factor here. Looking at Eastmark, their defense, Bryson Bowman leads the team with 147 tackles, 12 of them for a loss of yards, and the team has 15 interceptions. Desert Sunrise is a heavy throwing team, so look for Eastmark to try to capitalize on some of those plays and potentially come away with the win here. And lastly, our team in 5A, number 21, Maricopa, at number 12, Scottsdale Notre Dame Prep. Another kudos to the city of Maricopa as a whole. There are 2 high schools making the playoffs. Maricopa for the first time since 2018. David, what can you say about the Rams?
Jose Cardona Jr. That is what I can say about this Rams team. To credit to the entire team, but Jose Cardona Jr. is the Maricopa Rams for this squad. He has been the best quarterback in Pinal County. I've been singing his praises throughout the entire season, and he showed why he's deserving of being the best quarterback in Pinal County. Threw for over 1,000 yards and passed for 12 touchdowns, was the second leading rusher on this team, and led the team in rushing touchdowns. So he does everything for them. Heck, he even kicks field goals and extra points for this team. So if Cardona is on his game, and if Cardona is able to, use his weapons to his advantage and use his skill set to his advantage, this could be a really good game for Maricopa. I expect them to really put up a big fight here, and credit to also Tevin Rutherford, who has really done a solid job throughout this for this team throughout. But I think Jose Cardona is going to be the key here for this team, as he has been throughout the entire season. They're playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of inspiration to really show that they're capable and worthy of this spot here in 5A, and they really don't want to be a one and done in the playoffs, especially since it being so long since they've been in the playoffs. So I expect them to have a really solid game here and really put up a fight.
So for Maricopa, it all came down to their game last week. Had they beat Vail Cienega, they would have been hosting right now. And I feel like that's kind of weighing on their minds, like, hey, that was the game we needed. We would have been home. So I feel like that's going to be a little bit added motivation going into Friday night. Looking at Notre Dame Prep, nothing really stands out for me when I look at their offense. Yes, their running back Deckard Haskins Smith has nearly 1,000 rushing yards, but he has 138 carries. So we know Notre Dame Prep is going to look to this guy to carry the ball, but with Maricopa's ability to just kind of balance things out a little more with their running and passing games, I feel like they have the more effective offensive threat. And then looking at their defense for Notre Dame Prep, Nate Jones has 9.5 sacks. The team as a whole, 19 interceptions, 47 passes defended. So, I mean, hey, these guys are big, lanky. They can get up in the air and bat those balls down. So it's really going to come down to which team can just have the more effective offensive game plan when it comes to running the ball. David, anything else? Just general thoughts on our playoff games?
We're going to have at least one team playing next week, and it's really just going to come down to if any other teams join Combs in those playoff games next week. So it's going to come down to which teams show up and which teams really rise to the occasion here. There's going to be some interesting matchups. There are going to be some tough matchups. So it's a real spectrum here, and we're really going to see who shows up in this week.
Well, like we mentioned we have one more game at minimum next week, so be sure to check us out and follow along Pinal Central for all of your local sports coverage.